the biggest mistake you made at your wedding?
Honey, I love you, but said I do. Not my mistake. Not my mistake. I love my wife. I'm going to get in trouble for that, aren't I?
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of hell to pay at your house.
This is the murder of Becky Bliefnick. Rebecca Bernadette Postal Bliefnick was born in Quincy, Illinois, and attended Payson Seymour Elementary School, followed by Quincy Notre Dame High School, where she was named valedictorian, the first of many academics and professional honors in her lifetime. Becky graduated from cum laude from Quincy University with a bachelor's degree in biological science with a minor in chemistry, and worked for Sanofi Adventis as one of their top performing pharmaceutical sales representative. But Becky also envisioned herself working hands-on in the medical profession, so it was with no surprise when she left pharmaceuticals for a career in nursing, her true calling, where she was able to provide care and comfort to people on a daily basis. Becky graduated summa cum laude from Blessing Riemann College of Nursing and Health Science. So as you can see, Becky was a very driven and ambitious woman. On top of that, she also managed to have 3 boys in the midst of pursuing her career goals. On February 23, 2023, a concerned family member stopped by Becky's home after she failed to pick up her 3 young sons from school. As the family member entered the home, they found Becky's bullet-ridden body on Kentucky Road in Quincy. The police were called shortly after and were joined by a member of the Adams County State Attorney Office. At the time that Becky's body was discovered, she and her estranged husband, Tim Bliefnick, was going through a bitter divorce and fighting over custody of their 3 boys. To top things off, both Becky and Tim had restraining order against each other. Becky was shot 14 times in her home, and 9 of those bullets in her torso. Dr. Scott Denton, a forensic pathologist who performed the autopsy on Becky's body, stated that she died from internal bleeding and that it was an extremely painful death. She was also said to be alive several minutes after she was shot, laying on the floor, before she eventually succumbed to her injuries. In later revealed court documents, Becky also filed a restraining order against her father-in-law. Becky had stated that Tim's father was also trying to intimidate her and had harassed her on multiple occasions. Following the death of Becky on February 23rd, Tim Bliefnick, 39, of Quincy, was arrested on Monday, March 13, 2023, and is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and home invasion. His arrest comes 12 days after police searched his home, located at Amsher Street in Quincy. Becky was in so much fear of Tim and his continual erratic behavior. Most of all, she was fearful because he took all the ammunition that they had at their previous home and the weapons as well. And she feared that he was going to take away her from her children or her children away from her. In a text message to her sister Sarah Riley, Becky stated, "I am putting this in writing that I am fearful he will somehow arm me, come after me, or will try to do something to me that takes me away from the kids or the kids away from me. He already has lied multiple times to paint himself as a victim and me as the predator, when it's absolutely the other way around." Sarah Riley later hand over proof of the text from Becky and her concern to the police that was used in court against Tim at his murder trial. In fact, Becky had been scared of Tim and what he could have possibly do ever since they separated in 2021. In a September 2021 text message to a friend, Becky wrote that a co-worker and fellow emergency room nurse had been murdered by an ex, and that she literally had a panic attack thinking about what her estranged husband might do. I am scared of what he might do and his erotic behavior, she added in the text message, telling the friend that her husband had taken her firearms and ammunition. It is believed that Tim broke into an upstairs window of Becky's house on the night of February 22nd. Tim allegedly used a homemade slicer on the 9mm handgun used in the murder, and the Aldi bag used in making it was tied to the evidence that led to Bliefnick's arrest. Upon going through the defendant's search history, which sparked other pieces of evidence, authorities are said to have found that he searched for instruction on making just such a slicer at home. Tim also searched how to open a door with a crowbar, and how to wash off gunpowder. While it was never captured in a text message, Becky was extremely worried about Tim returning back her 9mm gun, the gun that was ultimately used to kill her. At Tim Bliefnick's ongoing murder trial for his wife, Becky Bliefnick, one of her friend Christina Moore testified that Becky also sent her a text message stating, "Tim has screamed in my face. He shoved me in front of the kids and threw things across the room where me and the kids were standing. The only way that the children would choose to live with Tim is if I was eliminated and he was the only choice." Tim Bliefnick was once a contestant on the widely popular show Family Feud, where he joked about regretting marrying his wife Rebecca. Although it was a joke then, back in 2020 on the show, today it gives us a clear insight of what was going on in their marriage and his feelings towards his wife. Tim allegedly broke down Becky's bedroom door and chased her through her Quincy home, ultimately leading to the bathroom where she died alone. Evidence showed that Becky tried to call 911 in her bedroom when the door was forced open and knocked the device out of her hands, the prosecutor has said during her murder trial. Once in the bathroom, she turned around and she heard a shot and she fell to the ground. Adams County Assistant State Attorney Josh Jones opened his argument at Tim Bliefnick murder trial by stating, "The last minute of Becky's Bliefnick life were not spent surrounded by family, friends, and loved ones. The last minutes of Becky Bliefnick life were not spent in the warm embrace of her 3 children, Deacon, Grayson, and Arlen. The last minute of Becky's life were not spent in love and compassion and tenderness. Yet instead, the last minute of Becky's life was spent in fear and pain and terror as she lay on the cold gray tiles of her bathroom floor, slowly bleeding to death." Tim has pleaded not guilty to all charges that against him and is waiting for the trial to be over and the jury to end down their verdict. One thing is clear about this case is that the Bliefnick had a very volatile marriage, and Becky did not deserve to be separated from her children through death. I'm always so concerned about the children left behind when one of the parents is taken away by the hands of the other. My prayers and condolences goes out to the Bliefnick children, and hope somehow they're managed to carry on and grow into wonderful young men. And my prayers and condolences also goes out to the rest of Becky's family. May Becky's soul continue to rest in peace while we wait for justice to prevail and her murderer to be put behind bars. Until next time on the Meaningful Talk Crime Doc, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch up with you guys later in the comment section.